Alan Wake 2 Night Springs expansion releases tomorrow. Physical version of the game coming soon. Alan Wake 2 is getting DLC tomorrow, June 8th, called Night Springs. That follows familiar characters from the Alan Wake universe in their what if scenario in three what if scenarios. One episode follows Rose Marigold from the diner, Alan Wake's biggest fan, who feels she is the only one capable of saving him. Another episode follows Sean Ashmore, where he appears to be playing himself as opposed to his character Sheriff Tim Breaker. Of course, this is Alan Wake, so who knows where the fourth wall line exists. Finally, a third episode follows Jesse Fadden from Remedy's previous game Control. Alongside the DLC, game directors Sam Lake took the Summit Game Fest stage to announce that a physical version of the game is finally on the way as well, and pre-orders open tomorrow. You can read our Alan Wake 2 review here. A couple of comments. Joey Cunningham goes, glad I can finally pick up a physical copy as I've been looking forward to this game for a while, although unfortunately it sounds like the DLC won't be on disc, which kind of defeats the purpose, although including the remastered digital copy is a nice touch. Personally, I wouldn't mind a future where game releases are digital, and then a year or so later a complete physical version with DLC and all updates are released later. That would be a good idea, because you could then just cancel the physical release if a game doesn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
Mun G86 goes, or better yet, stop the fear mongering and let go of physical media like we have in every other realm. If you want to be like the PC crowd and wait for games while we gamers play them and more on that, so that's on you, but let's stop with the unnecessary clutter and resource wasting already. Okay, how much is MN386 being paid? And Tim stands on, goes, what's wrong with people actually wanting to own something, wanting to collect something? You're being kind of ridiculous. Yes. And Harvey Jeet goes, terrible take. You don't even own any digital games. It's not wasting resources either. LOL. Okay, so do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I do want to bring up something we've talked about in private. Um, and I'll just go one word. I'll just go with one word.
Okay.
Winning. We are winning. The physical media people, the people who are not willing to let physical media go and games become all digital, we're winning. And it's not just, they finally caved and are releasing Alan Wake 2 on um, in physical form so people can play it. This would not be happening if Alan Wake 2 was still doing gangbuster numbers just digitally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just video games. I mean, look at all these networks like HBO Max, Hulu, uh, Netflix. A lot of these networks that have their own streaming service are now banding together almost to create a streaming form of cable because these networks on their own aren't bringing in enough money to support themselves. So they're
Oh,
having
yeah.
to so they're having to partner up with other streaming networks to get a price, and it's almost like this would not be happening if the streaming networks were doing so well. So as a big supporter of physical media and still wants physical games, that's yes, this is awesome. Um, so I mean, and like I said, that was a great idea actually. Release a game digitally so the people who want to play it day one can, and then if the game is a success, uh, release it and it's going to get DLC and stuff. Release it a year or so later on disc with the DLC included. Well, that's not a bad idea. Um, whether publishers and will do that is another story. But yeah, so and this also sounds great. What do you want to say?
Um, if we're referring to we're still talking about Alan Wake 2 to some degree, right?
Yes.
Um, well, I mean, the expansions I saw on the showcase, the game showcase, obviously, and it seems all right at first to have those expansions, but it looked kind of not out of whack. Like it's not the same as Alan Wake itself, so I don't see the point of these expansions. Yeah, it's like I can't say much about it. It looks like it's not doing so well. Alan Wake 2. I
Okay,
was
so
expecting great things for that game. So
Well, how do you feel about them going back to releasing a physical version of Alan Wake 2? Do you feel like in the culture war between digital and physical, the physical side is winning, or
Oh yeah, I mean, people are resenting the fact that all digital. Even I myself don't, even though I'm not digital, I always wondered to myself what would I try to do with my library for the past not several years, but a couple of years now. Because, like I told you before, like where at first you able to play, games with gold games as long as you have the subscription on. Well, now it's so I had to pay for them again. Like
yeah,
that was ridiculous on their part to make me pay for something that I already not rightfully owned, but I say to you offered it to me for free if I had my subscription.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, and
it's
I mean,
redundancy. It's stupid.
and with Game Pass Core, we would get access to our Xbox One games with gold if we had Game Pass Core at least. It's just
Right.
what was the point when we had Ultimate? So. Um, and like I said, I just don't see myself paying $11 because, like I said, most of the things I do on Xbox One is watching YouTube when I'm working on stuff for my online stores. If
Yeah.
so, it's not as much as I used to. Um, it just the subscription every month doesn't the subscription every month, month in, month out, month in, month out, doesn't make any sense anymore uh in my life. But like I said, for like a special occasion, for like something like Power Rangers Reader's Rewind or something, yeah, I would pay for a month so I could, play that online. But it's, like I said, it'd be a case by case scenario. It'd be for something specific, and I would just enjoy the rest of the month until the subscription ran out. I wouldn't renew my subscription every month like I used to.
Especially if there's free to play games to play on these systems as well, like Apex, Fortnite, maybe even PUBG.
And yeah, and not to mention, you can get not, and like I said, yeah, while well, I think it's $11 with games with core Game Pass Core and like 18 with Game Pass Ultimate per month. You know how many retro games you can get with that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
18 times 12, that's 180. That's $216. So a full year of Game Pass Ultimate, you could build up a collection for almost any console you wanted. And when I say collection, maybe it'd be a small collection if it's like GameCube games, but you would still have a few different ones that you could play anytime you wanted. You
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah.
playing against the clock uh, before that subscription, before you had to pay more money. Um, like I said, that's just it.